Hello everyone, welcome to Edubbey Global Solution. Today we'll be discussing supply. In our previous class, we have discussed what is known as demand. Now, the opposite of demand is known as supply. Now, supply can be defined as the willingness and ability to sell a product at a given price and at a particular period of time. Now, we discussed demand in our previous class to be the willingness and ability to purchase a product, but supply is the willingness and ability to sell a product. As you can see, those people demanding for products and the person supplying the product. Moving to the next slide, where we also have supply and price. As we also have demand and price, we have supply and price also. In contrast to demand, the higher the price, the higher the quantity of goods supplied by the producers and vice versa, which means the lower the price, the lower the quantity of goods the producers will be supply. Now we have an expansion in supply as a result of the higher in the price, and we have contraction in supply as a result of lower price. Moving to the next slide, where we have an activities about what we just discussed now, and it's also part of your past question. What will cause an increase in the supply of milk? We have to use the law of supply here. What will cause an increase in the supply of milk? Number one says the introduction of a subsidy to cattle farmer. Is that so? An increase in wages paid to farm workers. The outbreak of a disease affecting cows? No. An increase in the price of the cattle feed. There should be an increase in the price of cattle feed, because the higher the price, the higher the quantity supply. Don't forget. Now moving to the next slide, we also have individual and market supply schedule. As we have individual and market demand schedule, we also have individual and market supply. Now, individual supply schedule is a table showing what a producer can produce, that is only one individual can produce. As you can see, we have different prices here, and we have just one supplied product. Now, market supply schedule is a table showing the total supply of the product supplied by all firms in the industry. Now, this table is showing us the price as different prices and the supply by firm A, firm B, which is known as the total market supply for firm A and firm B. Now let us move to the next slide, where we have individual and market supply curve. Now, we just said earlier something about individual and market supply schedule. Now let us now have a look at the supply curve. Now we have firm A supply and firm B supply. Here is their market supply curve. Now moving to the next slide, we have an activities here where we have to drag the word into the correct boxes. Dash is the ability to purchase a product. I know we have taught this before, but you have to guess the answer. The second one says dash is the ability to sell a product, and the third one says dash shows the relationship between price and quantity supplied, while the last one says dash shows the table of total supplied over a period of time. Now let us now look at the options. Here we have supply. Where is it supposed to be? We have individual supply schedule, market supply schedule, and demand. Now let us look at the first statement. We have dash is the ability to purchase a product. Of course, in our previous class, we said something about the ability to purchase a product, which is known as demand. Now, the ability to sell a product, I mean that one we just said is now. That one is known as supply. Now, what shows the relationship between price and quantity supply? Relationship between price and quantity supply. Of course, it should be individual supply schedule. Now we have the last one to be the table of total supply over a period of time. We have market supply schedule. Now let's check. That's good, amazing. Now moving to the next slide, we also have shift in a supply curve. Now there is a shift in the supply curve if there is a change in supply conditions. That is, if there is an increase or decrease in supply without any changes in price. According to the shift in demand curve also, there is also an increase and decrease in demand without any changes in price. Also here we have it in supply curve also. As you can see, at the same price, the supplier can produce more of the product which move to the right, and at the same time they can also produce less of the products. Now moving to the next slide, where we have causes of shift in supply curve. Now we have changes in the cost of production. If there is a change in cost of production, it may lead to increase in the shift or decrease in shifting supply curve. We have improvement technology, taxes, weather conditions, and also price of other commodity. Those are the causes of shift in the supply curve, apart from price, because price is the cause, just only movement. Now we have an activities here is among of your past question. Now the diagram shows a shift in the supply curve for cars in China from S1 to S2. Wow. What is the most likely cause of this shift in the supply curve? Just remember to use the law of supply. The higher the price, the higher the quantity supply. Now, a new subsidy given to the Chinese car manufacturers? No. An increase in an indirect tax on petrol in China? No, that's not the answer. An increase in the price of cars in China, is that so? If it is an increase, that's supposed not to be shift, it's supposed to be movement. Now, an increase in the wages of China's worker. Of course, this is supposed to be the answer because we have causes of shift here. One of them is changing cost of production. So our answer is supposed to be an increase in the wages of Chinese car workers. Now moving to the next slide, there is also an activities here. How will an increase in supply be illustrated on a curve? Is it on a curve? Yes, it's supposed to be on a curve. Now we have a shift to the left. Is it to the left of the curve? No, of course, no, that is a decrease. Now a movement up the supply curve, the supply move up from left to the right. Then let's move on. A shift to the right of the supply curve. Of course, this is supposed to be the answer because a shift to the right of the supply curve means an increase in supply curve. Now we have an activities here is also part of your past question. In 2018, the UK government introduced tax on the production of sugary drinks. Wow. If government introduce a tax on a product, that means the price of the product will automatically increase. And if there is increase in price, let us check for demand. Let us check for demand first. For demand, if we check for demand here, assuming the government introduce a tax on production of sugary drink, automatically the price of the commodity will rise. And if you have a rise in the price of the commodity, that means we are going to have a fall in demand. Now let us now check this option. Where do we have a fall in quantity? Of course, we have it here. We have contraction in demand and the supply will shift to the left, which means there will be a decrease in supply of the product that is less demanded. Wow, that's amazing. This will be the end of our class today. Stay tuned to our website www.edubbey.com.